Hey, this is Alex Simon.
And this is Nate Dieterich.
We are with WN Partners. Let's talk about it, what nobody wants to talk about, these rising interest rates. The conversation that we should be having is, what are you doing to make sure that you're in a good position to buy at any point? So if you're a renter, we're here to talk to you about that. So on average in the Phoenix market right now, we're seeing 50 to 60% year over year increases. So Nate, you're a renter. How would that affect you?
It affects me a lot. This past year, the increase was minimal. It was only about 15%, but that's an extra $200 added to your monthly bill, and that starts to add up a lot.
Yeah, so you're not seeing specials for your apartment complex anymore, are you?
No, not for, and surprisingly not for, established renters. The deals are more for people entering into the apartment, and for us who are there, they just keep hiking it up until we want to move out, probably.
I think because they're factoring the depreciation of the unit that
Most
they can't
likely
go in and repair, correct?
Yep.
So actually, if you don't move, it actually costs you more either way.
It could, absolutely.
Yeah. So as a renter, you always have to ask yourself, am I positioning myself to buy? And that doesn't mean that you have to buy today, but could you have to buy in 6 months and you don't have the savings? So let's talk about that, Nate. How are you positioning yourself to buy in this next year?
Like you said, it's about saving. So it's putting aside money whenever you can, whether it's from every paycheck, from any kind of side job you do, but you have to put aside money specifically for a down payment or something down the line.
Now, in order to know what you're saving towards, you need to talk to the right people, correct?
Correct, yes.
So sitting down with a real estate agent like ourselves or a lender, you have to do it in order to know your numbers. Because a lot of times people have told me, well, I'm just going to keep on saving. I always ask them, what are you saving towards? We need to know your numbers, and that comes from understanding your debt to income ratio. Sometimes the real problem is finding more income.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't want to have that conversation because it's touchy. I may have to change a job, or I may have to choose a different career path. And that might take you 1 to 2 years down the road if you completely change career paths. But the thing that you do need to understand is we have to have those conversations, because a place to live and food on the table is always going to be something that you need to have. Is that correct?
Yes.
So for you, how have you seen going from being a homeowner to a renter? How has that looked for you?
Going from a renter to a home buyer, an owner, I never believed in it until I purchased my first home, sold it a couple years later, and made a profit, and was able to kind of upgrade that to that next level. But after selling it, it kind of hurts when I am putting money towards something that's not going to be my own in the future. And like you said, it keeps going up, and ultimately I'm paying more than I was on my mortgage at my previous house, and so that kind of breaks my heart a little bit when I have to think of it that way.
But having that equity allowed for you to make that career shift you've been waiting for, right?
Absolutely, yes. So I've been able to adjust, having that equity in the house, I've been able to adjust and kind of transition out of the restaurants and now into real estate, where it's a lot of fun.
Which I tell people all the time, there's no other investment like real estate, because I, for one, purchased a home in 2015, and at the time the interest rates were 3.4%, which was golden in that time. Fast forward 2018, the interest rates are 5.2 at the time, and I needed more space for my family. But I had equity from my previous home that I could use to kind of buy that down a little bit. Now, that's what I tell people. Had I not invested before, I would not be able to move that money into my new home, not only have a way to pay down some of that, added interest, but at the same time have a built up saving for harder times. Now we're in 2022, and my interest rate is much lower, and my payment is lower from when I first started. So in time, things do change. You just have to know if you're starting at the right time for you.
Correct, yeah. It's different for everybody, but it's always the right time to buy for someone.
Correct. This is why we need to have a conversation with you, so you can know exactly where your numbers are, and don't be afraid to let's just face it, put it all out there so you can know how you can be better prepared in the future of this economy. Talk to you guys soon.